Hello everyone, Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate you. In today's video, I want to dive into an in-depth review and take a close-up look at this tattoo gear from a company called Easy Tattoo Supply. I will leave links for you in the description below so you can check this out on your end. Right here we have the Easy Tattoo Supply Nano Tattoo Machine. We have the PG3 wireless power supply, and then we have some ink caps as well. I'm going to show you all of this up close. We're going to test out the performance. By the end of this video, you will know what to expect from this gear. Should you have any questions at any point throughout this video, I'm also going to highly encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my best to assist you in the best possible direction. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me and ring that bell, as I'm going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. I do also have social medias under the same name as this YouTube channel. I would truly appreciate your support over there as well. If you find my content helpful and enjoy my channel, consider becoming a Patreon or sending over super thanks, as we would truly appreciate your support. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive straight on into this. I want to begin with the ink caps. I want to open these up so we can take a close-up look at them, and then we'll go on and work our way to the power supply and the machine, whichever comes first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 12, 13 different sheets here if I'm counting correctly. And these seem like they are actually pretty decent size as well, for those who are curious on that. Here is the sheet one last time. I want to give you a good close-up look at it. And as you can see, it's actually really flimsy. It's not nearly as thick as I thought it'd be, so in terms of getting these off right here, should be fairly easy. You just simply clip them with scissors and we'd be good to go. Or I'm not sure if they come off just like this. I do think that though this would be more ideal if we were able to break these by hand without having to use any scissors. So for me, I won't be able to give these a full 5 because of that. This is a little bit tough to go ahead and break off there, but that is the sheet right there. However, if you do have some scissors, you can just simply clip them off like so and get the ink caps that you need. I would prefer to not have to use any sort of third-party tools. I would just prefer for these to just click off by themselves. However, these are still great. Alright, so moving on to the Nano Tattoo Machine over here, let's take a close-up look at the packaging. As you can see, easytattooing.com. And again, links will be for you in the description below. So I'm assuming this is going to be a really thin, smaller tattoo machine here. So here we have the Nano box. Small size, giant impact. That's what the box says, for those who are curious. So upon looking under the hood here, we are greeted with the Nano brochure is what it looks like. And then we have this right here. So let's take a close-up look here. We do have some tool right there. Feel free to go ahead and pause this and read this thoroughly on your end. So it has all of these specs in terms of motor, materials, strokes, and more there. And it tells us on this side, so this gold one's going to be 3.5 millimeter stroke. The one with the silver band is going to be a 4.2 millimeter stroke. And right here we have the 2.5. And this is the cam wheel for those who are curious and wanting to see that close up. Seems like it's made of a very hard, durable plastic. That's the 2.5 right there. Let's take a close-up look at this power supply so we can use that here as well. So the packaging here is going to be like so. Here we have the brochure for this power supply. And again, feel free to pause at any point so that way you can thoroughly take this in on your end. We'll go over all the specifics here shortly as well. And allow me to now show you all the products. So this is going to be the power supply, and then I'll save the nanos for last. Here is the wireless power supply. If I'm correct, this is going to be called the Portex 3 Gen 3. It's actually a really sleek design. This is actually really nice. Let's go ahead and take this off here. It's actually really light as well, so I think it's actually going to sit nicely on top of these machines right here. Let's take a close-up look at the nanos, as I'm sure a lot of us want to see that there. So here we have the 4.2 millimeter stroke nano, and this isn't as small as, let's say, the ink claw tattoo machine, the tiny pin and the tiny wireless pin. However, this is actually really tiny still. Here is the motor right here. I'm sorry, here is the cam wheel. So this is the build of the machine right here. So here we have the grip, here we have the cam wheel, and right here is the bearing arm. I'm a big fan of this design right here. So we have the bearing arm, here we have the 4.2 cam, and here we have the grip. And then for those who are curious, the adjustment for needle depth is right here on the grip. So we can completely break this machine down into individual components, as you see right here. So we have the grip, the cam, we have the body right here, and then we have the bearing arm with the motor up top. I think both of them are going to be the same design, just different specs there. And to put back together, to assemble is very straightforward. We would simply want to get the grip, and this can be done in any order here as well. I'm just simply going to start placing the machine back together. And it is not click grip, however this is actually a firm tight grip here, so I'm not really worried about the needle adjusting on me. I'm going to get this cam right here, and I'm going to face it down with this point going in right here. I'm going to line that up, and it will sit nice and flush like so. As you can see, it's now in there. And then from here, I'm going to get this part, place it on top, and then just screw it in slowly, making sure I don't strip anything. And we're good to go. So this machine is running right now, and that's as much sound as it's going to get. This is the 4.2 millimeters, so it has a really low vibration, and it's actually really low in sound, but I can feel a little punch there. Let's take a closer look at the 3.5 millimeter stroke nano machine here as well. And it's the same design. We have the grip right here, the body, and then the top part. Cam wheel in there, bearing arm right here. Exact same build, just different machines. So I love that idea. I love the fact that it does come with two different nano machines, one that has a 3.5 millimeter stroke, one that has a 4. Me personally, I love that. I also love the design. The design is also something that I'm in favor of, because we can take it apart and sterilize it as well. I'm also in favor of the size of the machine. It's actually really small. It feels close to home. It feels like I'm using some sort of paint marker that I use a lot. I do have paint markers that are almost within this width area, or this width ballpark as well, so it does feel right at home. I also love the fact that it does have another 2.5 cam wheel right here that we can implement into the machine should we choose to do so. For those who are curious on what that one sounds like, let's fire this one up right here as well. And I'm going to demonstrate these for you also. Be sure to stick around for that. So this actually feels really balanced right here in my hand. So for the power supply, it's actually a very straightforward and basic power supply. We have the power on right here. So we just hold it down for a couple of seconds, and it fires up the power supply right here. And then as you can see, we have voltage up, voltage down. and there's also a built-in timer. So for me personally, those are the features that I can ask for: voltage up, down, so that way I can fluctuate. It is also working from 5 volts to 12 volts, so having that wide range in voltage is also important to me. Timer, not really so much, however it's still very cool that that is included within this little wireless power supply right here. So right off the bat, I'm definitely loving this little guy right here. This thing is nice. I love the design. It's sleek, it's consistent as well, and it's actually really light, giving it a balanced weight combined with these nano machines right here. I want to get into how I'm going to go about wrapping this tiny tattoo machine right here, and I'm going to approach it the way that I typically do. So I'm going to start with removing my grip, and then I'm going to place a barrier around the entire top part of my machine, with the barrier coming a little down here as well, covering the down part of the machine over here. And to do that, I'm going to use saran wrap right here. I personally like to use saran wrap. It's easier for me to work with. So I'm just simply going to place a layer of saran wrap on out. And then I'm just simply going to wrap it around as best I can here, making sure that I'm covering this bottom area. The idea is to place a barrier around the entire tattoo machine. And then I have some excess over here. Here is the front of the power supply right here. I want to make sure that I can access all of the buttons there. Tinier machines do require a little bit more care, I guess, when wrapping. However, I do feel that it's worth it just to do it right from the jump. So right here we have a barrier over the entire top part of the tattoo machine, and then I'm going to repeat that process with the grip. So now I'm going to place the grip back on, and then I'm going to place another little piece of saran wrap around the grip. However, I do want to make sure that I have enough here, and it's going to be the same thing. I don't want to cross them on here because I want to be able to adjust my needle depth still. So in order to be able to do that, I have to be real meticulous with where I'm placing this barrier down. You get the idea. So it does require a little bit more care in terms of being more precise with the placement of our barriers. However, again, though, it goes back to kind of just doing it as best we can the first time around. And you can see I have a barrier around the grip now of the machine. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get adhesive wrap and just wrap it around the machine to create a little bit more comfort here, so that way I have padding and I'm not tattooing directly on metal. To each their own. I will leave links for you in the description below for everything here. Should you have any questions, I encourage you drop a comment down below. I'm going to repeat that same process. I don't want the adhesive to cross over into the grip area. I need to be able to adjust the needle depth on the fly, and this is going to be fully subjective, to each their own. You can make this as thick as you want. I want to keep that nano aspect going on, so I'm not going to apply too much of a layer to build up a grip here. I'm just going to put this on for comfort and stability. For the grip area, I'm going to simply fold this in half like so, and I'm going to proceed to place it around the grip, because I do want a adhesive wrap around my grip. So there we have the nano wrap. That's how I'm going to go about wrapping this specific tattoo machine right here. Now we are ready to get into the performance aspects of these tattoo machines to see what they have to offer. Here we have the Nanos wrap. This is a 3.5, this is a 4.2. I want to switch on over to a different angle so that way we can test out some mild performance demonstrations here to see what these are actually capable of. For those who are curious on what it sounds like with the needle in there, it has a coil-like sound to it because of the design. I personally like that. And that's 7 volts right there. And this is the 3.5 right here. Let's check out the 4. This is the Ink Claw 22 round shader. So these little machines are pushing 22 needles. And this is the 4.2 stroke right here. And again, it has that coil-like sound, and it does have significantly more vibration when we have a cartridge in there running. Very nice, clean, and consistent. I want to see how these pack. I want to see how they line. I want to check out all of the functions or all the elements that I do within tattooing with these machines. So let's check that out. Here I'm using the 3.5 stroke right here with the Ink Claw bug pin 3-round liner. And I'm going to add some textures to this area right here. And I am running at 5.5 volts right now. So these are growing on me pretty fast here. I do love the fact that they have this coil-like sound to them. Whether or not how good they perform, we'll know by the end of this video here. And typically I would do this with a mag, so I'm starting off a little bit different here. So it does look as though I am able to achieve here little thin details with 3.5mm stroke using a bug pin 3-round liner. You can see here on the power supply the timer is working. We've been tattooing for 1 minute, so the timer is activated there. I just wanted to show you that as well. For those who like that coil-like sound and feel, these are definitely ones to look into. These are growing on me pretty fast here. I didn't expect this sort of performance, let alone the sound coming from them. I want to use this mag here, and I want to do a little bit of texture going back and forth here, and I'm running at 5 volts right now. The hits feel very soft and smooth, and this is a 3.5. I'm going to try to align with that 4.2 here in a bit. So for the 3.5 stroke, I would use this one for like smooth shading. If I'm trying to get smooth shading, maybe even some textures, I would use this 3.5 right here. For lining and packing, I'm definitely going to use that 4.2. So here I'm running the 4.2mm stroke with Ink Claw 22 round shader. I'm going to pull some lines right here on this real skin, fake skin. And right now I am running at 7 volts even with the Mummy wireless tattoo supply. So off the bat, what I'm noticing is it definitely does have a nice punch to it. And I was hoping that it would have that sort of hit to it, and it definitely does. So the 4.2 definitely lines. So it's actually pretty cool because we have a set. We have one that we can use for all around. We have that 3.5 stroke, and that one could be used for lining as well. But me personally, I would prefer the 4.2 all day because it makes lining for me just that much more easier, more consistent, and more cleaner, and that's what I want. So I'm going to line with the 4.2 and I'm going to pack with the 4.2 all day. And with the 3.5 I can do shading, I can do dot work, I can do line work as well, but I would try to stay away from line work on the 3.5 just because I have a 4.2 that hits right here. But yeah, so the 3.5 can be used for dot work, it can be used for shading, and it can be used for lining, and then the 2.5 stroke can be used for smooth shading. And as I line, this is actually easy, effortless for me. Nice, clean, consistent lines there. And for me, I could listen to this all day and I can pull these lines all day here, but I'm going to do one more for you all before I move on to the next demonstration. So it does have a nice punchy hit to it, but it doesn't feel too hard either, which is what I like. I'm now running at 5.5 volts and I want to pack a little bit of black here, and I want to see how that kind of goes here. So I'm going to kind of just line this and pack a little area here. I'm using a 7 mag here from CNC, a CNC Police. And I'm going to bring it this way, and I'm just going to kind of start filling in a little rectangle right here. So one thing that I'm noticing is that packing is a lot of fun, and again, it's almost effortless like lining for me. It all comes down to our technical application and our technical approach here and how we want to apply the saturation. However, for me, I'm loving these machines here. They're definitely some to include in our arsenal, as we can get lining, shading, everything that we need from them, and I do love the designs of them as well. So packing black is effortless as well. At first I was a little skeptical on nanos and how powerful they can be. However, from my experience using nano tattoo machines, they all pack a punch as well. So they are definitely capable. Again, it just depends on our approach here. I think that I could probably speed it up just a little bit more to 6 volts. Overall though, I'm definitely loving these nanos and that power supply as well that I was using on the 3-stroke. That's a solid power supply. So right off the bat, I'm definitely loving these tattoo machines. I'm going back to the 3.5 stroke here, and I want to do a little bit of dot work, and I want to see if these little nano machines are capable of doing dot work. So we're going to test that out here. I went back to the Ink Claw Bug Pen 3-round liner, and I'm using the 3.5 stroke here as well, and I'm running at 5 volts even. I am using a very thin needle, so I just want to be mindful of how deep I go. It has a very smooth, soft hit. I don't feel anything really on the needle tip. So dot work seems effortless. So I am able to line, I'm able to pack. It does look as though I'm going to be able to do dot work with the 3.5. And the dot work is coming out nice and clean. So it does look as though we are able to accomplish dot work using these nano tattoo machines from Easy Tattoo Supply. I'll do a little bit of shading here. I think that these are actually a wonderful set. These are actually really awesome. So you can see I'm stippling here. So I am able to get some smooth shading going on here with some dot work. I'm loving the way that looks there. So for all of my fundamentals, my lining, I'm able to accomplish with these nano tattoo machines. I'm able to accomplish dot work. I'm able to not only line, but I can line with heavier line weights. You can see this is 22 needles right here, if I remember correctly. That's the Inkclaw 22 round shader, and it pushed it just fine using the 4.2 mm stroke there. And then this is the 3.5, so I'm able to get some smooth dot work with stipple shading as well using the 3.5 nano right here. And if I wanted to use, let's say, a mag for smooth shading, I could probably bump it down to the 2.5 and achieve that as well. Not only that, I'm also able to pack right here. As you can see, I do have some nice clean saturation going on. So for me personally, I could achieve all of my bare bone elements, all of my bare bone basics with these machines right here, and I can have them work in unison with one another. One could be set up for lining, one could be set up for shading. So if you are looking into the market here and looking to get some machines, I would recommend to check these out on your end. I will leave links for you in the description below so you can do so. Let's please keep in mind that these are some basic demonstrations right here. I am going to be making more videos with me using these machines, so I can give you all more information as well along the way as I get more experience with these within some time coming. Now, at first impressions, I am loving these. I'm loving the design, I'm loving the build, I'm loving the performance. I can do all of my basic fundamentals with these two machines right here. One can be used for lining, another can be used for dot work, shading, stipple shading, textures. You get the idea. And there's also another cam that I can go down to and get that really smooth shading with that one should I choose to do so, but that's not really fitting within my style specific. However, I can make another in-depth video sharing that cam with you all should you choose to be interested in that. But what I'm trying to say is, at first impressions, these can handle anything that I do throw at them, from lining, shading, stippling, dot work, textures. It's all there. And again, it is cool that we have two different nano machines that we can use, one for lining and one for shading. So that's also a thumbs up right there. For me personally, these deserve a 5 stars easily because of almost everything that I've experienced with them. And again, granted, I am going to use them more, so within like a year or so, I'll be able to explain more on these and I could share my experiences with you all. But as of right now, my initial impressions, these are awesome, these are fantastic, these are great. From performance to design, everything checks out for me. I really love machines that we can break down and we can really get in there with wipes and clean all the nooks and crannies and crevices. That is important to me, and we are able to do do that with these nano tattoo machines. Not only that, I am also able to do the fundamentals that I do on my end, which is line. I do like to do shading, dot work, stipple shading. I do like to do textures as well. So all of that I am able to achieve with this set of nano machines. It's also cool that I can set both of them up, and I can use one as a liner and I can use one as a shader, one for the dot work, for the details, for the textures. You get the idea. So something about that setup, that workflow, that they go hand in hand together, I also do admire. So from me to you, this is going to definitely be a 2 thumbs up and a 5 stars easily. I'm also going to be getting more use in with this power supply right here, but after my initial impressions, after some use with it, I am liking this power supply. It's actually really lightweight. It has a balanced feel when I'm using it. I plugged it on and forgot about it. Essentially, it's very user friendly as well. Simple, straightforward. It's a solid power supply, well rounded. As time goes on, I'm going to be sharing some more experiences with you all, so drop a comment down below if you have any current questions right now, or if you watch this video later on and you have questions, please, I encourage you, drop a comment down below. I'll do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. I also have social medias under the same name as this YouTube channel. I would truly appreciate your support over there as well. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me and ring that bell, as I'm going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. Should you find my videos helpful and enjoy my content, consider becoming a patron or sending over a super thanks, as I would truly appreciate your support. With that being said, thank you for your time. I appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day.